Hello everyone, it's Kai again, and in this video we're going to be discussing how to become a pharmacist assistant in South Africa. Okay, so the video will be split into 6 sections, all corresponding to the following 6 topics. What is a pharmacist assistant? How do you qualify as a pharmacist assistant? Where do you qualify as a pharmacist assistant? What are the entry requirements for the course? Why should you consider doing the course? And which opportunities can you expect after qualifying? All, of course, within a South African context. So go ahead and grab your Notion, your notepad, your Google Keep, and a cup of whatever it is that you need to get through the day, because we're about to spill the tea, and you want to get it while it's hot. What is a pharmacist assistant? As defined by Section 3.9.1.2 of the Good Pharmacy Practice Manual, the scope of practice for a pharmacist assistant post-basic entails the following: selling scheduled substances over the counter, assisting with the manufacturing, compounding, manipulation, preparation, and repackaging of medicine, assisting with ordering, distribution, and control of pharmacy-related stock from Schedules 1 to 6, actually 0 to 6, interpreting and filling prescriptions evaluated or checked by a pharmacist, instructing patients on how to use the medicine supplied, and providing information that promotes general health. So, how do you become a pharmacist assistant in South Africa? The pharmacist assistant qualification is split into 2-part qualifications. In South Africa, it is registered as follows: the National Certificate in Pharmacist Assistance at NQF Level 3, and Further Education and Training Certificate in Pharmacist Assistance at NQF Level 4. Bear in mind that although the National Senior Certificate is NQF Level 4, a lot of the institutions through which one may gain entry into the course require that one must have completed the National Senior Certificate, and we'll get into that later. There's also an Advanced Certificate at NQF Level 6, which is offered at Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University on a full-time basis, after which you may qualify as a pharmacist technician. But the South African Pharmacy Council is yet to finalize the scope of practice for technicians, so all current technicians are registered as pharmacist assistants post-basic. There are also prospects for current post-basic assistants to work towards the Occupational Certificate in Pharmacy Technical Support, which would somehow render them at the same level as a pharmacist technician, once the scope of practice is established, of course. All of these topics have been discussed, and ultimately the South African Pharmacy Council is still in the process of putting the necessary regulations in place. On the road to becoming a qualified pharmacist assistant, there are 2 options in South Africa. You can either apply for a job as a learner basic assistant at an institution, like a hospital, community pharmacy, manufacturer, etc., and do the course through them on a work-based and work-back basis by attending their institute of choice at no cost to you. The institution will also pay your registration fees to the South African Pharmacy Council and ensure that you're legally permitted to work in the dispensary. This route is probably the most popular one because you don't need any resources to start. You simply need to apply for a position in the sector that appeals to you and get hired to start your studies. The downside is that it can take longer. It's not supposed to theoretically, but there's always a catch. But if you're getting the opportunity to study whilst earning a living, I guess it's worth it in the end. The alternative route is to simply pay for yourself. If you have the resources to do this, it can be a great way to get yourself certified in the least amount of time, about 1.5 years. You'll have to ask to do your work-based learning at a dispensary yourself, and this would probably be private pharmacies and not retail chain pharmacies. as they make use of their own learning institutions. Unless, of course, you're enrolled in the institution that they're affiliated with. I have come across one person who'd paid for his own studies and did his practical training at a privately owned community pharmacy, so it is a possibility if you're interested in doing it this way. When I started out, I'd searched for YouTube videos on becoming a pharmacist assistant, but I found American channels instead, and I used to marvel at how they only had to write and pass one PTCB exam and be certified technicians. Maybe it's not exactly as straightforward as I saw it back then. In a South African context, these are our two main routes to becoming a pharmacist assistant. Where to study? There are currently 4 institutions that are offering the pharmacist assistant basic and post-basic courses in the country. These are the Health Science Academy, the Pharmacy Healthcare Academy, Pharmacy Training and Development Project, Sefako Makato Health Sciences University, which is previously known as Medunsa, and Isbois Academy. A 5th institution only offers the NQF Level 3 basic course. And of course, Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University offers the higher certificate and advanced certificate in pharmacy technical support on a full-time basis. Now, what are the entry requirements for the course? Okay, if you're going to study via a retail pharmacy or a hospital or whatever institution, they are, in most cases, going to stipulate that matric is a necessity with mathematics or math literacy and biology above 50%. If you can pay for yourself, though, since the basic certificate is merely an NQF Level 3, which is lower than matric, you don't need matric, you just need to have passed grade 10, and you need to have money. About 40,000 Rand to do both parts of the qualification. I'm not sure if that might have changed by now, but the current brochures indicate that it hasn't. Keep in mind you'll have to pay your own registration fees at the South African Pharmacy Council, and you'd have to make sure that you're working in a dispensary that is a registered training site and that you're working under a pharmacist that is qualified to be your tutor for the duration of the course. I've linked the PDF from the South African Pharmacy Council website in the description, so you guys can have a look at the list of providers and their respective contact details should you be interested in finding out more information. Now, why should you consider doing this course? I'm not going to sit here and talk about how you have to be passionate about healthcare and how it's a calling, because it doesn't have to be. Every assistant that I've met just ended up here. College dropouts, people who are currently studying part-time, etc. Nobody dreams about being a pharmacist assistant. I mean, I didn't even know there was something like a pharmacist assistant. And that is such a shame. Do you know why? Because had I known about this career, I would not have gone to university after school. I couldn't afford full-time studies like basically everyone. And like a lot of kids who do well in high school, I was overwhelmed with this belief that I had to do the course that I got offered a bursary for. Coming from a not rich family, it'd be foolish and irresponsible not to accept the opportunity, right? The thing is, no bursary can compensate for an absolute lack of stability and socioeconomic and mental struggles. I knew I wasn't ready for university. Academically, maybe, but all the other factors that contribute to a student's success were corrupted. Back then, I didn't know there were options like this, options that promise stability and provide a stepping stone towards a future you can tailor for yourself. So, why should you consider doing this course? If you, first of all, know that you have it in you to be compassionate and patient with others, colleagues and customers, and if it makes you happy helping others and serving others, even if you're not going to get any sort of recognition for it, then you may consider doing this course, especially if you are not in a financially suitable position to study full-time, you are not sure what to do with the rest of your life, The thought of having a job that is mobile, locuming is a common feat in pharmacy, and lucrative sounds good to you. You are in need of financial security and academic security, or you're a matriculant weighing your options for the next phase of your life. If any of these applies to you, provided you love serving others and are able to take orders patiently and you're eager to learn, this course is a great fit for you. We are living in a third world country, and opportunities like these are a way to provide education to the masses and turn things around. What opportunities can you expect once you're qualified? There are so many sectors you can work in after qualifying. Within the private and the government sectors, community pharmacy, hospital pharmacy, clinic pharmacy, manufacturing, wholesale and distribution, pharmaceutical sales and promotion, training and lecturing, claims department at medical aid schemes, or laboratories at medical aid schemes. As a pharmacist assistant, it means that everywhere a pharmacist is employed, you can be employed to act as the assistant to the pharmacist and act as a source of cheap labor, which is totally fine because the pay won't be too bad for an NQF level 4. Then there's also the prospect of working abroad. This is possible as being qualified in South Africa will open doors to write external examinations for the country you're interested in working in. You guys get the picture. In conclusion, if you're going to take anything from this video, let it be this. Becoming a pharmacist assistant in South Africa is relatively easy to do. I feel like it's not a heavily promoted career, but a lot of people could potentially find value from knowing about all the different ways that you can enter into the field. It's also a very rewarding opportunity to pursue, and it should be pursued by anybody who has a genuine love for serving people and to whom the prospect of earning a living whilst earning a qualification appeals. And if you're that person, you should go for it. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was sufficiently informative and that your prospects have now become broadened or narrowed in a good way. If you're interested in learning more from my journey towards getting qualified and as a part-time student living alone, you're welcome to subscribe for more content on just the life of Kai. And if you liked this video, feel free to like this video. With love, Kai.